Hi, I'm Aaron, and this is the Beth Emanuel Virtual Kollel. You can find this video and many other videos live at bethemanuel.org/Kollel. That's Kollel. And so what I intend to do, this is going to be the first of a set of videos and online sessions where I'm just going to spend 15 minutes just reading the Parsha in Hebrew and just maybe discuss a little bit what it means, and limit it to 15 minutes just to make sure that everybody it's a sustainable thing for me to do and for other people to participate with. So I don't have a plan yet as far as how often or when I'm going to do this. It might be once a day, it might be a couple times a week, not quite sure yet. So bear with me, and eventually I'll get that figured out. But with all that out of the way, we'll just do a little discussion of the Parsha now. Maybe some people will jump in live, and that would be great. If not, no problem. Here we go. We're going to start. Today's Parsha is Parshat Bamidbar. So we just started a brand new book of the Torah this week, and Bamidbar is the book of Numbers in English. So we're going to start right in with chapter 1, verse 1 right now. And so what I'd like to do is share my screen. I've got a very nice website up here called Sparia. And let's see, big. And I'll give you a chance to look at that. And the link to Sparia is right there. If you go to to bethemanuel.org/Kollel and look at this video here, I'll provide the link to this particular page on Sparia from there, so you can follow along with me if you like. So here we are, Bamidbar. Aleph stands for chapter 1. We're going to start in with verse 1 right now. Here goes. Vaydaber Adonai El Moshe Bamidbar Sinai Be'ohel Moed Be'echad lachodesh hasheni bashana hashenit letzeitam me'eretz Mitzrayim lemor. Okay, so here we have the Lord spoke to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai. And so, oh, hi, Esther. Glad you could join us.
Hi.
So I'm reading right now from Parashat Bamidbar. I just read the first verse. Explaining here that this word here, Bamidbar, normally when we talk about the name of the Parsha is Bamidbar. And but the word in the Parsha that it comes from is this word Bamidbar. The reason is, this is a part of this phrase, Bamidbar Sinai. The word Bamidbar means in the wilderness and of, and then Sinai. So in the wilderness of Sinai. But what's going on here is the word Bamidbar means in the wilderness. If you just have Bamidbar by itself, it means in a wilderness. But when this word Bamidbar is connected to another word, then it changes, and then it's going to reflect whether this second word is what's called definite or not. So definite is this concept where, or in English, we indicate definite things by saying the. So we'd say, the book instead of a book. Or if it's the name of a place, you don't need to say the. So you wouldn't say the Minneapolis. It's just Minneapolis, and it's definite either way. So you wouldn't say the Sinai. So Sinai is definite. So when you have a phrase like Bamidbar Sinai, the whole phrase has the definiteness of that second word. In which case, it becomes in the wilderness of Sinai. But then when we refer to the book, we want to call it in the wilderness, not in a wilderness. But when you cut off the Sinai part, there's nothing to indicate the definiteness. So we end up calling the book Bamidbar, in the wilderness. So it's a funny technicality. You'll sometimes see the book of Numbers referred to as Bamidbar, as it's pointed here, but it can go either way. So Be'ohel Moed, in the tent of meeting, Be'echad lachodesh hasheni. So that's in the first day of the month, the second. And that's how Hebrew works. The adjective comes after the noun, so the second month. And so counting from Nisan, we've got Nisan ER. That's the month that we're in right now. That's nice. We're at the end of the month of ER. So in the second month, Bashana HaShenit. So in the year, the second. So the reason that this one is Shenit and this is Sheni is because a year is a feminine word and a month is a masculine word. So the feminine form of second is Sheni, and so the second is Hasheni, and so Shenit is the feminine form, so Hashenit, the second. So in the year, the second year of what? Letzetam me'eretz Mitzrayim. They're going out from the land of Egypt. So in the word Seitam, it's the root is Yatza. So it's the same root for words like Hamotzi, who brings out bread from the earth, Motzi lechem min haaretz, or but in this case we have like what's called Yetziat Mitzrayim, the exodus from Egypt. So that's what that word is. The tam on the end is there. So for their going out from the land of Egypt, saying. So by the way, as a participant here, Esther, if you want, you can always pipe in and ask a question, and that might, if there's something glaring that I'm missing, it will be helpful to the other viewers, I'm sure, who are watching this later, if you have anything that you want to add or ask. So that's verse 1. Verse 2, Se'u et Rosh Kol Adat B'nei Yisrael Lemishpechotam. It's kind of a long word. I'll say it again to give you a chance to look at it. Lemishpechotam Levet Avotam B'mispar Shemot Kol Zachar Legul Gelotam. Another complicated word. Legul Gelotam. Okay, so here's what we have. Se'u is lift up. So it comes from a root nasa. It's got a nun in the front that just drops off. Nuns tend to do that sometimes. And it's plural, it's command. You must lift up. And then this word et indicates what the verb is happening to. What are you supposed to lift up? It's Rosh Kol Adat B'nai Yisrael. And this is an amazing five-word, what's called a construct. Usually a noun construct is where you've got two words that could become combined together. Like we have Midbar Sinai. You have the wilderness of Sinai. And so when you combine two nouns together so that one noun describes another noun, in Hebrew, it's done in the order where you would say of in between. So wilderness of Sinai. So in English, we will sometimes make a compound word, but we will reverse the order. So we might say a bookcase or a bookshelf is really a shelf of books. So we put it in the other direction. But in Hebrew, you combine two words, you would really say shelf of books, shelf books. In Hebrew, that's the order that we do. Now, usually there's only two of them, but you can chain as many as you want, and theoretically you could have very many of them. And in this case, we've got 5 in a row. So here's what they are: Rosh, that's head; Kol, which means all, it's also a noun; Adat, so this is, we'll get into this more. This is a community or assembly. B'nai, that's the children or the sons, and Yisrael, and that's Israel. So it's of in between all 5 of these. Head of, all of, the assembly of, the children of Israel, like that. So what's going on here? It says count, or I mean not count. I'm interpreting it already. Lift the head of all the assembly of the sons of Israel. And so this phrase, lift the head, is an idiom that can mean a few different things. But in this case, it means count. It's take a census. So by, I guess, I'm not sure what the connection is between lifting the head and taking a census. I don't know if maybe one of the commentators has something on that. The nice thing is Sorry if you're hearing the vacuuming. This is a maintenance day here at Beth Emmanuel. But Safar, and there's and of course there's the lawnmower outside. Are you able to hear me okay, Esther? We're
yeah, I muted it. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. But you're able to hear my voice just fine then. Okay.
Just fine.
So we got Rashi and we got other commentators here. And I'm not sure if Rashi has any comment on this phrase, Rosh. Usually what happens with Rashi, it doesn't look like it. He will comment on the first time like a particular phrase appears. And in this case, I'm sure it's already appeared in other books. But so this is a census. And so the word lemishbechotam is, you might have heard the Hebrew word mishpacha, and that means family. So now we're going to make it plural. So one mishpacha, several mishpechot. And then we make it possessive. And so in Hebrew, in biblical Hebrew in particular, there are endings, suffixes that go on words that make them possessive. So their families, and so it's plural. So the plural third person possessive ending is am. So that's this am on the end. So mishpechotam means their families. Mishpechot, family, or families. Mishpechotam, their families. And so this preposition l in the beginning, like I said, it's a preposition, and l usually translates to for or two, but it's not one for one. You know, Hebrew is not English, so you can't always translate it quite that way. It's a preposition. So we have, lift the head of the assembly of all of the sons of Israel, for their families or by their families, I think is what it's saying. Levet avotam. So this word is normally bayit. Bayit means house, but this is also in that noun construct, a very, very common grammatical form where you've got a noun describing another noun. So here it's the word av is father, and so plural of av is avot, which sounds like a feminine plural, but with the word av, it just is masculine. That's just the uses that plural anyway. And then you got that same possessive ending. Am means their. So mishpechotam, their families. Avotam, their fathers. Okay, so then the word house is joined to this word fathers to make house of their fathers. And so what happens is you get the word bayit, the vowels change when it's in that construct form. And so bayit becomes bait. So if you hear of names of places that are called bait such and such, it's house of. And in this case, beit avotam, house of their fathers. And now it's the bait changes to a veit, and that just happens often when you get a prefix. So the lamed prefix l ends up deleting the dagesh in there, the dot that's in the bait, and turns it into leveit. And that doesn't change the meaning, but it's just sort of part of the vocalization. It's really easier to say leveit than it is to say lebeit. And in language, often what happens is what's easiest wins. So how are we doing on time? We're just about probably, maybe I'll finish off this verse and then we'll call it good. So leveit avotam, for the house of their fathers, for their father's house, or by their father's house. Bemispar shemot. So again, we've got this noun construct. Shemot is names, like the book of Shemot is the book of names. In this case, so Shem is name, and the plural of it is Shemot. So Shemot is names, and then this word here, bemispar. The word the b in the beginning is a prefix, and then the rest of it, mispar, is the word for number. So it's actually related to the word sefer. It comes from the same root as sefer, book, but it is just the word for number, a mispar. So it's mispar shemot. So it's number of names. And then actually we have the construct keeps on going. There's two more parts of this. So the number of the names of, and then kol is all. We had that over here, same one. Zachar, and that's male. So you have number of names of every male. And and then the b in the beginning, that is a prefix that means in or with, usually, maybe sometimes on, depending on what it is. It's hard to translate this literally. This is just the way the Hebrew works. It's not one for one with English. It's a different language. So you end up saying by their families, by their fathers' houses. In other words, by their clans, because house is not literally like a building here. It's like a dynasty or a clan, and then by the number of the names, or with the number of the names of all the sons or all the males, for every male. Like I said, Zachar is male. And then this word right here, tricky word, the gulgulotam. Well, we already learned that on the end means their, plural, possessive, right? And so we got that over where else do we get that? Mishpechotam, Beit Avotam, right there also. So gulgulotam is again there. And so it's plural. The ot should indicate like mishpechot. Gulgulot is also plural. And just like lemishpechotam, the l in the beginning is the prefix. So l, gulgulotam. The whole word, the root word of this is actually gulgolet. Gulgolet is head or skull, like literally skull. And the word kind of has this round sound. It's similar to words for round things in Hebrew. So you get like a really very vivid idea of a skull head. And so it's actually similar to the word Golgotha. So the place of the skull, as it's referred to in the Gospels. So legulgolotam is basically by their heads. By their heads. In other words, by every individual. That's the idea behind it. So every individual is counted. So that's as far as I'm going to go for right now. I want to keep the time down to at least, or to really no more than 10 or 15 minutes. And we'll just see how far we get. Maybe we'll, by the end of the week, depending on how much more I do this, then we'll get through the Parsha, or maybe not. And if we don't, no problem. There's always next year. But with that, I just want to say thank you to people who are in our virtual congregation at Beth Emmanuel. We definitely feel your presence out there. And I know that it's hard for us to reach out and have you feel connected to what we're doing. I know you get the audios on a regular basis at bethemmanuel.org, and you get our newsletters and things like that. And I'm hoping that by doing this live video and putting things out more often, we'll be able to give back to you and get you feeling more connected. And I plan to make these videos interactive. So if you can sign on, you can ask me questions, and really learn what you're really interested in learning, and that would be a fun thing for everyone. So with that, I will sign off, and I really appreciate you being here. And just look at www.bethemmanuel.org/kolel, and you'll get to see the project that we're working on right now. I haven't really broadcast it wide yet, but because we're still working out some of the kinks in the process, and pretty soon we'll have that just visible to everyone, and I'm sure we'll get a lot of interaction that way. So thank you, Esther, for being on here. Looks like someone else is on here too. That's cool. And there's probably people watching on the website and through replays. And so I want to thank you to you all, and have a great week. So signing out.
Thanks,
Bye.
Aaron.
Yep. Bye.